Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, and welcome to YACC, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game I played for a week and then I talk about it. This week, however, it's a bit different. I visit a gaming convention in Sweden, Örebro. It's called Retromania, and it's basically a huge convention hall where they sell toys and retro games and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. So my day actually started at 5 in the morning at convention day on Saturday. So I woke up, had some breakfast, and took a shower and went down to the train station. The problem was that they were doing maintenance on the track that day, actually on Saturday and Sunday. So what would normally be like get on the train and get off at the south station of Örebro, like 2 to 3 hours or something like that, took a whole lot of long time. There were actually replacement buses and a lot of confused people because I was actually shaking. I was afraid because normally I'm like very confident and everything. When I know when how things are going, then I'm on cool. Okay, I'm supposed to just sit on this train. Nothing more is going to happen. But when a lot of people were asking me where the replacement buses was going to be, and I had no idea. I was asking people as well, and where am I going? What am I supposed to be? And the app in the phone was not actually that helpful, so it was kind of funny. But I made it down there, and down from the station is actually like 1 or 2 kilometer walk to the actual convention hall itself. But once I got down to the convention center itself, of course it was a long line because of the delays with the buses. I stood in line and waited for like half an hour before the opening even. And there were a lot of cosplayers taking pictures. One was dressed as like Batman, and a couple of stormtroopers, and a Sith Lord. I believe he's one of the Sith Lords from the KOTOR games. There was another thing that I was worried about actually, because you were not allowed to bring bags to conventions because in the past there were a couple of bomb threats. But once I stood in line, I realized that there were people with kids and all of them had bags. And I was like, didn't they get the memo? But inside the convention, they actually had a place where you could put the coats and bags. So you could leave your stuff there, but that was not on the home page. So that was kind of confusing. But once you left your stuff and went into a convention hall, it was kind of a big hall. It's made for like huge convention. It's like a Congress hall. So there are 3 floors. Cellars on each of these. They have catering and food as well at the bottom, I believe. And between all the floors, there are escalators, taking you up and down. And there were a lot of people, a lot of nerds. So it's kind of funny when you walk into a room of nerds. And my mom has told me this in the past. She wasn't with me at the convention, by the way. But she said that there's a particular smell that nerds have. They don't shower and they don't, keep their hygiene that well. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But when I went in there, I realized there were all kinds of weird smells. I think one of the guys actually shat himself. It's kind of like, oh, dude, there are bathrooms at the bottom of like the convention. You can just go there if an accident happened. So the whole point of the convention, at least for me, was to meet up with people from Discord and Twitch that I've known for ages. We were supposed to talk, share our findings, maybe grab a beer and dinner. And the funny part was like, how do I recognize you, Corvus? Yeah, well, I will be wearing a red and white One Punch Man cap, so you can see me in the crowd. But the funny thing is that no one walked up to me and talked to me, and I didn't see anyone else that I was supposed to meet. I was also looking for Game Boy games. It is a neat little console. There were a couple of vendors that had Game Boy cartridges, and the great thing about the little Game Boy is that it's region free, so you can play imports in Japanese game as well as European releases, American, whatever, you can play it. As I said, a couple of vendors had some, but they were too expensive or something I didn't want it. It's kind of a shame because I didn't end up getting anything at the event. I was looking for some Kirby stuff as well. I saw some imports of, I believe it was Super Smash Bros. I don't even own a Nintendo 64. I was like intrigued. Maybe I should get the Japanese box. It has a manual and everything. The price was right, but how would I play it? I was also looking at some convention t-shirts. They were actually really cool, like retro-based kind of synthwavy, which is a format and music and design that I absolutely love. But when you stand there, like, no, you get these kind of feeling. Maybe I shouldn't spend money on a t-shirt, but it was kind of sad. I left the convention with nothing, and it was kind of like a meh. I heard that other people had really fun and they found exactly what they were looking for, but I don't know. I ended up with nothing, but I was fine with that as well. And then it was time to go home, or well, I needed to eat something before. So I went down to the central core of the city. And it's kind of funny when you are in a city that you aren't familiar with, you don't know where the food places are, and it's kind of a mess. So I found a little kiosk, I got some food and drink, took my meds and whatever, went down to the train station, got a ticket in the app, and I started to wait for my train. So it would arrive in like 10 to 7 minutes, I believe. And a train arrives on the station, and I'm like, that's not my train, because my train will arrive in 2 minutes. And I waited, and after a while I realized that's my train, isn't it? So I have to cross the track, push up like some hinges and stuff. It's probably not safe. I ran across the track and waved at the conductor, and he let me into the cart, and it was the right train. So I took one stop to the central station of Örebro, and I have to wait for another bus, which took about an hour for it to arrive. And meanwhile this is happening, there were a couple of, since train traffic was an absolute mess, everyone was waiting for their bus, including a group of like 40 retired people, old demented people waiting for their buses to just get home. And they were asking me, where are the buses? I think it's here. I have no idea. And they were confused, and I was confused as well. But, my bus arrived. I got on that. I hope their day was solved and everything. I have no idea. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. So I sat on the bus. I got home I got to the Västerås train station, actually. And I had to wait for an hour for the train to take me to the next bit, to the Stockholm area. So when you have an hour to spend, start to explore this city as well. So I went to a place called Kråkan, and I was looking for food. I wanted some snack. I got some snacks and energy drinks. So funny thing about this trip, I think I spent more money on snacks than actual, convention related. I believe even the tickets didn't cost as much for the convention itself. But anyway, I got home, got my well-deserved toilet break, and I was so tired. That's my trip in a nutshell. So in conclusion, I can say I had a lot of fun. I didn't talk to anyone that I was supposed to talk to. I didn't get anything at the convention. I spent more money on caffeine and food than the actual ticket itself. The train and bus traffic was absolutely terrible, but that's part of the adventure, right? I never knew exactly what or where I was supposed to be, but somehow it turned out. It was kind of funny actually watching other people's, loot in the Discord, where they got NES games and SNES games and all kinds of rarities. And I'm like, where were they looking at stuff? Maybe they got to the stuff before I got to it. I don't know. But I had a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the next event that will happen. Not sure when, but I'll probably be there. So maybe then I can talk to some people and actually get some stuff, So anyway, thanks for listening and for watching, and take care.